So welcome to today's class. You're more than welcome to have some blocks, some straps, a bolster, anything that you need. Remember to practice to what your body needs today. So any injuries, anything that you might have, again, you can take options, you can take modifications, or if you want to just lie on your mat for the next 60 minutes, that's absolutely fine. So today's class, we're going to just do the general move our body in every way that we can. So stretching, strength and release. And again, it's all about sensations in my class. So if a sensation is too strong, back away, or if you want a little more, you can always go a little bit more. And if you want to, again, take it to another posture that I'm not doing, you're again more than welcome to do that. So sitting in a comfortable seat, again, I'm sitting on a bolster which raises my hips a little higher than my knees. Today my knees are just feeling a little achy, so again that just takes that pressure away. Now your hands can be in a bowl, they can be on the knees. If you're practicing a mudra, again you are more than welcome to do that now. Roll the shoulders up, back and down. Maybe take a deep sigh as you exhale. Close down the eyes. And just take a moment to check in with your body. So while you're breathing in and out, maybe in and out through the nose, and checking in with how you're feeling, how the body feels, and maybe what it is it needs today. Noticing the breath a little more, so taking the inhales and exhales through the nose unless you are congested. And what I do want you to do is start to deepen the breath. Maybe constrict the back of the throat. Start to build on the breath, finding our Ujjayi breath. So the breath that sounds like the ocean or wind within the trees. Starting to bring in that internal heat. I wish you a beautiful practice today. And with that, blink open the eyes. And let's move the head down and looking up towards the ceiling. Again, down and up. Two more, down and up. Now, hold the chin down towards the chest. Options to stay here. Options to interlace the fingers. Take the hands behind the head. Close the elbows. Don't yank the neck. It's just adding a little bit of weight. Again, you do not need to do this. Slowly bring the head up, open the chest, open the heart. Release the arms. I'm going to take the head side to side. It's a nice stretch from side to side. And then when you're ready, I want you to hold it on a side of your choice. Option to take the hand and just add some weight. I like to pull down with this shoulder, maybe even reach the fingers out, having an extra stretch down the neck. Good, gently let that head go, but I want you to help the head up and over to the other side. Again, options to stay here or add the hand as a little bit of weight. You can always walk that hand out if that feels good. Lovely, help the head up and come back. Now you can do little semicircles from side to side, or if a full head circle is in your practice, let's go ahead and do that now. Don't forget to change the direction. Lovely. and come back to neutral. In towards our shoulders, we're just going to lift them up and down, up and down. So really have a big shrug and down. A few more of these before we start our circles. So you can take them up, back and round. Options to just work the shoulders or add the arms in. And if you want to, you can add more arms. Again, it doesn't matter. Don't forget to change the direction. Perfect, coming back to neutral. So down the arms, give the arms a little squeeze. In towards the wrist. And then switching sides. Shake it out. Taking the right arm across the body, left arm has a little hook. We work in towards the shoulder a little bit more. That same arm is going to lift up and behind the back. Options to stay here. Options to take a hold of that elbow. Gently release, opposite side. Lifting up and back, taking a hold of that elbow. Good, gently release, big hug, so open up and across. You can round in here if you want to. Tuck the chin in towards the arms, into the chest. Good, liquid arms on the top. So big release, other arm on the top. Good, gently come back. And place the hands on the ribs, so just the rib cage, moving from side to side. So if those of you who salsa or do strictly, really isolating through the rib cage. So just from side to side. Don't let the hips go, it's all into the ribs. Okay, we're going to go forwards and backwards. So really expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. Wonderful. Now, let's try get a full circle. So just the ribs. Good, change the direction. Perfect. Into some lateral side bends. So coming back to neutral, up and over. We'll take our side stretches up. And we'll just free flow from side to side. But the intention is to separate the rib cage from the hip. Find length. You can always look up and have a rotation a little higher. Good. And I want you to stay on this side now. Take the hand behind the head. Open up and rotate up towards the ceiling a little more. And then bring the elbow down. Again, lifting up. And down. So we can add the breath in here, lifting up on the inhalation. Bring it down on the exhalation. Again. Again. One more. Good. Hold the elbow down towards the knee. Square the shoulders. Reach the arm forwards. Good. Reaching just that little bit more. Taking the hand down. Walk towards the center. Give yourself a second here. Good. Coming back up. Over to the other side. Hand behind the head. Up on the rotation. And down on the exhale. Again. Again. Good, we're going to hold this one now, reaching over, squaring the shoulders. Bring the hand down, coming to neutral. Have a little pad here. Good, gently walk yourself back up. I'm going to remove the bolster. I'm going to sit down a little more. Cross the other leg in front if you're sitting cross-legged. So we're going to do Sufi roll, so now in towards the hips. So let the whole body move. Good, don't forget to change the direction. Good, gently come back to neutral. So just going to go on side on so you can see me. We're going to go and puff chest for cat-cow. So using the arms, puffing chest on the inhale, contracting and rounding in. Again, lifting up on the inhale and then bringing it down on the exhale. Just a few more here. So inhale, coming forwards. Exhale, coming on back. Again, forwards on the inhalation, down on the exhalation. Again. Forwards and back. Again, forwards and back. Now I want you to hold the contraction here, separate through the shoulder blades. And all you're going to do is going to switch the arms to opposite knees or shins and really rounding back in, tucking the chin in towards that chest just a little bit more. Good, gently releasing, taking the arms behind you, fingertips pointing towards the glutes. Again, they could be in any way, but I want you to pad from side to side, just waking up those wrists for the moment. Now, everyone's hands are different, so if the fingers need to point out, that's fine as well. So just waking up the wrists. Good. You can flip over. Again, I know it feels hard, but really working through the hands. Lovely. Keeping those arms behind you, but then flip the hands back down. I'm going to puff the chest, open the heart here. Options to stay here, options to take a little further if you want to lift the hips up. And we'll do this and come down and we'll do it again. Lifting up, opening up through that front chain of the body and coming down. Two more, lift and open and down. Last one, lift and open and come down. Fabulous. Coming back to neutral, just giving yourself a release. Lovely. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Give the legs just a little shake. And I want you to roll out your ankles here. So rolling out ankles, rolling out wrists. And then gently change the direction. Good, you're going to take the arms behind you as support, but I don't want you to slump back. If it's on the fingertips, that's great. But simply pointing and flexing through the feet. So working through the metatarsals. And when you do point the toes, make sure you don't scrunch the toes. Try and find length all the way through to those tips of the toes. Good. Two more. Last one. Good. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Now the arms can be out to the side or still behind you. I'm just going to do that side on. I'm going to do a cat-cow here. So opening up and then rounding in. Opening up and rounding in. Flex through the feet. Activate through the legs. Just a few more before we point the toes and continue our cat-cow. Couple more. Now, really think about that tailbone rocking forward on the sit bones, rocking back. Two more. Fabulous. And then come back to neutral. Keeping those legs out in front of you. Bending in that right knee, hugging that right knee in just that little bit more. Take a hold of the foot, take a hold of the ankle. We're going to have a little cradle from side to side. You can have a little squeeze up and down. Good. Bringing that knee back to neutral. Have a little rock. You can have a little open side to side. So you might need to use this hand as some support. Good. And then gently release. Second leg, bringing it in, taking a hold, having a little rock. This leg feels a little easier than the other. A little squeeze. And of course, we can have that little gentle open. Very lovely. Gently let go. Bend both knees, bring the soles of the feet together, coming into our butterfly. Remember, you can pad up those knees with your bricks. You can hold onto the ankles, but I want a little flap of the knees, a little flapping. Now, instead of flap up, I want you to flap down, 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 down. Sitting tall and making sure that you're not rounded. We're sitting as tall as we can. So using the ankles or whatever you're holding on to help you sit tall. So little flaps here, down, 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 down. Nice and easy. Wonderful. A few more here. Beautiful. Gently release, bringing the feet back up onto the mat. We're going to do some gentle windscreen wipes, so arms out to the side for support. And again, just windscreen wiping. So windscreen wiping is a lovely counter pose, a lovely great way to waking up the hips because of internal, external rotation as you move from side to side. Lovely. One more each side. Perfect. Swing the legs aside, making our way to 4-point kneeling to tabletop. Stacking shoulders over wrist, hips over knees, knees hip distance apart. Tuck your toes underneath, everybody. Big circles around the wrists, back and towards the feet. Again, move in the rib cage, big washing machine movements. Let the head go. So more of that intuitive, sensation-based flow. You can move the arms here, forward and back, round to the side. Again, it doesn't matter. It's all about releasing any stuck, tight places within our body. Good. Let's do a lovely scooping cat-cow. So keep those toes tucked. And in our scooping cat-cow, we'll scoop forward on the inhale, bending through the arms. Exhale, contracting and rounding. Again, the lovely scooping forwards. And a gentle release. Now, if we want to activate through our abdominals, we'll scoop forward on the inhale, scooping back but contracting, lifting the knees an inch on the cat. A few more. Last one. Good. Come back to tabletop, but bring the knees together, feet together, keep those toes tucked, walking your hands back towards the knees, sitting back for our toe sit options to stay here if that is too much too soon, or coming up. Make sure the ankles don't splay, try and keep them together. Mine definitely like to fall out to the sides. And holding it here. Couple more breaths. Fabulous. Making your way back to tabletop, drum out your toes. Good. Taking the knees back to hip distance apart, looking forwards, everyone. We're going to scoot through onto our bellies. And when we come down, we'll come into our first Sphinx pose, taking the arms out in front of us like a number 11. Squeeze through the glutes, open up through the chest, invite the back bend through. Taking a few breaths here. Okay, so protraction, retraction through the shoulders with a Sphinx pose. So still pressing through the feet, engaging through the legs. So the heart is open, and this would be an inhale. The exhale, going to round through the shoulders, squeeze through the glutes, and maybe lift the hips a little higher. Good. Gently come down. Inhale, come forwards. Exhale, contract and lift. Again, coming forwards on the inhalation. Back on the exhalation. Couple more. And again. Good. Gently come all the way down onto your bellies, everyone. You may support the forehead with the left arm. Bend your right leg in. Options to stay here or option to take the right arm back. Take a hold of the ankle, just stretching through the quad. Again, it's also opening up through the shoulder here as well, depending on the grab you have used. So you're either grabbing on the outside or the inside of the leg. I always recommend to do both because there's a different sensation within the shoulder as well. Lovely, gently release, switching over, opposite side. So whatever grab you did on that side, make sure you do it on the other side as well, making sure the body is even. Lovely. Gently release, back and through to tabletop. So it wouldn't be one of my lessons without one of our hip cranks. So using your right leg, big hip cranks, big movements. Really encourage more openness, more movement in that hip socket. Don't forget to change the direction. Lovely. And gently release that leg down towards the floor. Opposite side, big hip cranks, big movements. Change the direction. Wonderful. Gently release that leg back down to the mat. Big toes together, knees nice and wide, push back into your first child's pose. Resting the forehead down. But I want this a moving child's pose, so moving from side to side. Feel the openness through the hips, maybe the stretch through the ankles. Good. Looking forwards, everybody. You're going to scoop through onto your belly and up towards cobra. So looking forwards, it's a scoop like a wiggly worm up and towards a cobra. Squeeze through the glutes. Gently release, back through tabletop, tuck toes, back and up towards downward facing dog. And when you get to your down dog, pedal out your feet. Find length through the spine, length through the back of the legs. So maybe shaking the head, yes and no, maybe moving the hips from side to side or in a circular movement. Again, just encourage length. Good. Now you can keep a moving down dog, or if you want to, you can lift up onto the balls of feet, twisting into a twisted down dog, so twisting in the knees. Or if you want to, you can still find a bit of stillness, maybe reach right leg or right arm towards left leg, should I say, opposite way for a twist. And again, you can change left arm, right leg for a twist. Gently bring it back. Looking forwards, everybody, walking the feet towards the hands. And when you get there, hanging in a ragdoll, softening through the body. Good. And then it will be a very gentle roll up. So release the arms, bend the knees and roll up through the body. Good. So coming towards the top of your mat, standing nice and tall, I'm going to do this facing you. Hands onto the hips. So with your right leg, you're going to lift it up, you're going to open. It's going to be like little circular movements. It's in, out, in, out. Imagine the knee is doing a figure of 8. So you've got to find something to focus on. Good. Release, opposite side. Don't worry if you fall over. Embrace that, she says. Really find something to focus on. Little swishes, little moves. Lovely. And come back to neutral. Releasing the arms back beside you. Finding your Tadasana. So again, that could be big toes together. It could be hip distance apart. But what happens is you are definitely equal through the feet, pulling up through the kneecaps, activating through those quads, navel to spine, shoulders down, head right on top of that whole body, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Rolling the shoulders back down and around. Inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling. On our exhalation, we're going to hinge on the hips, but take the arms out to the side, swan diving down towards the mat. Good deep forward fold. We're going to come into our halfway lift as we lengthen through the crown of the head, rolling the shoulders back down. Exhale, plant the hands down towards the floor. Step back with your right leg, options to find your props here. Good, so lengthen, active lunge, sink the hips down, lift the chest. Find your inhale here. Lovely. Gently move the blocks aside if you are using those. Ground through the back heel, cartwheeling the arms, lifting up through to warrior two. So sinking a little bit deeper. Holding it here. Knee over ankle, back quad is lifted. Rolling the shoulders. Beautiful. Straighten up through that front leg and then rebend. We'll do this a few more times. Straightening up through the front leg and rebending. Now watch that rib cage doesn't flare. Make sure the knee doesn't come past that toe, so still tracking over and forwards. One more. Bend and hold the bend, but flip the palms. Rib shift forward, and let's reverse our warrior. Don't sink in towards that back leg. Use the side body to open up that little bit more. One more breath. Good. Cartwheeling the arms down towards the floor and stepping back to our first plank. So when you come into your plank, it's protractions through the shoulder blades. So press that mat away. Options to lower the knees at any time. Lengthen up through the crown of the head, holding it here. Good. Slowly lowering down towards the mat. So maybe through a chaturanga or having a little mini hold wherever it may be. Releasing the toes and up towards a cobra. Good. Up and back towards downward facing dog. Wonderful. Pedal out your feet. Good. Look forwards. Maybe step, jump, float your way to the top of the mat. Find a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, deep forward fold. Roll up through the body. Coming back to stand in your mountain pose. Good. Hands onto the hips. Let's start to lift the knee. We start those figure of 8 circles. Big movements. Maybe just a little higher each time that you move. So it's the whole leg moving across the body, open the body. Switch sides. Again. Big figures of 8. Big movements. Wonderful. And then come back to your Tadasana. Grounding through, pulling up, standing tall. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, hinge from the hips, swan dive all the way down towards the mat. Find your halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, planting hands, maybe finding block. Step back with your left foot, finding your lunge. So knee over ankle, sink the hips forward and down, lift the chest. Ground through that back heel, cartwheeling the arms through to your warrior two, opposite side. Again, check through the foundations. Make sure you're happy through the hips and the shoulders. Straighten the front leg on the inhale and release. Again, inhaling, exhaling. Again, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Exhale, last one. Hold that warrior two. Flip the palms, rib shift forward, reverse your warrior up and back. Sinking a little bit down, but again, don't lose the strength. Beautiful. Back through warrior two, cartwheeling the arms down, maybe to the floor, to the blocks. Stepping back to your second plank. Lift up, squeeze, hold, lengthen. Shifting forward, option to lower the knees, remember that. Taking it down through a chaturanga or into a little slight hover. Release up towards your cobra. Back and up, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Really good. Walking the feet towards the hands. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, deep forward fold. Roll up through your body. Good, so hands back to hips, lifting that right knee, finding the drishti, big circular movements. Doesn't have to be high. Good, okay. Gonna add on. So lift it up, open it out to the side. Take it down, cross and up past the body. Woo! Out to the side. Down. Hold. Open it out. Release. That's tough. I can feel that. Gently lift up other side to big, nice, easy opens. Big, nice swishes. Good. And then lift it up and open to the side. Take it across the body and up. Opening it out. Taking it down to drawing with the knee still. And up. Take it out. Draw with the knee. Up. And release. Shake it out. Perfect. So working a little bit more strength. Make sure you're really happy with how you've got the legs, everybody. Arms beside you for now. Pull up and squeeze all the way through. So simple, rise up onto the balls of the feet and then lower it down. So just a few of these rising up, but locking in through those legs, through the core. And down. Rising up. And down. Rising up and hold it up there. Maybe take the arms overhead, holding it here just that little bit more. Lift up through the crown of the head, hold the balance. Beautiful, lower the heels, soften the knees, swan dive all the way down towards your mat. Halfway lift, inhalation. Exhale, plant your hands, step back with your right leg, ground the heel. Beautiful. Lift up, back through that warrior two. Straight away, rib shift forward, forearm to thigh, back arm up and over, side angle. Open up just that little bit more. Good, gently back through warrior two. Rib shift forward, straighten the front leg, taking it back for a reverse triangle. Lovely. Back through to neutral with the arms. Turn the toes to face the long side of the mat. Good. Turn the heels in. Let's take a bend into our goddess, taking the arms overhead. Close the rib cage. Knees tracking out and over the toes. Lovely. Straighten up. So now the other toes are going to point towards the back of the mat. Kicking the back heel out. Repositioning for a warrior two on that second side. Check in with your foundation. Make sure you've made that transition really good and not too sticky. Rib shift forward, forearm to thigh, back arm up and over, side angle. Keep revolving the chest up. Good. Bring it back through to your warrior two. Straightening that front leg. Rib shifting forward and then reversing your warrior for a reverse triangle, should I say. Good, back through to neutral with the arms. Turn the toes, turn the heels in, bend back through your goddess. Lovely. Straightening up. Again, turning into those front toes, so back to your actual front of the mat. turning in the back toes, re-bending through that warrior two. Okay, shifting it forward, maybe taking the hand to the floor or to the block, doesn't matter what level, back hand behind you. Maybe keep going. Now, options to stay here, you do not need to go any further. Maybe you go a little further, maybe the back leg lifts as the underneath leg starts to straighten into our half moon. Now the arm can stay on the hip, the eye gaze can stay down, or of course, you can always make it a little more difficult by taking the arm above. Does not matter. What matters is if we're finding a little bit of balance. Lovely, really soften into that front leg. Back through your warrior two, but take that block with you. Straighten through the front leg. Turn the toes, turn the heels. Maybe you've got a block, maybe you haven't. Raising up, holding it here. Now, if you haven't got a block, you can imagine you've got the block. Taking the arms behind you and up. Two more. Behind you and up, straighten up. Turning those toes, facing the back of the mat, kicking the heel out, back through that warrior two. Back hand to the hip, bending into that front leg, maybe placing the block, maybe you have no block, it doesn't matter. Maybe taking the weight a little further, maybe lift off into half moon on the opposite side. Keep lifting up through that side body. Don't lock out the underneath knee. Holding it here. Now, options, of course, to take the arm up to the sky. Option to look up to the sky as well. Or stay with me. Softening into that front knee. Bending back through the warrior two. Maybe taking the block with you, maybe not. Straighten through the front leg. Turn the toes. Kick the heels in. Bend the knees, finding your goddess, arms overhead. Good. Taking the arms behind you. And lift. Now, side on. Watch the rib cage hasn't gone. Watch the bottom hasn't gone either. Bring everything underneath you. Maybe going a little lower. Good. Couple more. One more. Good. Straighten up. Turn the toes inward. Coming through a tabletop, soften through the knees all the way down for a wide-legged forward fold. Get a little move from side to side. More than welcome to bring in the other block as well. Releasing the head, maybe moving from side to side, maybe even wiggling in the hips to encourage more length in the back of the legs. Taking that little rest moment here. Now, those of you that want to build on a little bit of strength, of course you can bring the arms to the floor and you can rock the weight in towards the hands, pressing, having some protraction through the shoulder blades, maybe lifting up onto the balls of the feet. So you have a couple of options here. You could be resting, or you can make it about strength and a little bit more of activity through the arms and through the core. Whatever it is, we'll be here for a couple more breaths. Again. Last one. Good. Soften in the knees. Start to roll up through the body. Big shake it all the way out. Bring legs together. Nice little release. It's going towards the back of the mat. Everybody take the feet hip distance apart. Soften through the knees, roll down nice and simply into that ragdoll again. And then we start to walk your hands forward in toward your downward facing dog. And in your down dog, pedal it out, move it out. Lovely. Shift forward towards plank pose, soften the knees, and then swing the legs around towards the front. Good. Of course, you can use your props at any time, so keep them handy. Scooch the bottom towards the heels. This is where I do like to grab my block and place it between my knees or my thighs. Now you have the options to stay here, options to have the hands behind you, underneath the thighs, Rocking back onto that tailbone, lifting up through the chest, squeezing through the thighs. Options to stay here for boat. Options to lift a little higher. Options to always straighten up as well. Keep lifting and keep strong. If you ever wanted to use a strap here, you just have to make a little circular move or roundness through the strap. Hook it underneath the thighs, taking it around the back as well. If you're still holding that boat, good. Keep it nice and strong. If you're using the prop with me, you can always use it, but we'll be here for 4 more breaths. 3, 2, 1. Gently come back. If you're using the strap like I did, come out of it. If you're using the block, again, put it aside. Bring the soles of the feet together. Rest forward into that butterfly. Perfect. Coming back up. Again, you could roll to a side towards your back, or you could use your core one more time, rolling all the way down. Have your blocks handy, those of you that like a supported bridge. Of course, you can use that block underneath your sacrum at any time. But what I want you to do is make sure the knees are over the ankles, the feet are hip distance apart, the arms are next to you, palms are down. Lift up the head, lengthen through the back of the head, move your hair out of the way, especially if you've got a ponytail and it's making your neck and everything just feel a little scrunched. Make sure you've got length, okay? Pressing into the feet, squeezing the glutes, pressing into the hands as well. Roll up through the lower back, up towards the shoulders. Keep squeezing and activating through that body. Options to shimmy the shoulders underneath, interlace the fingers, press up the arms down, lift those hips up that little bit more. Now, if you're using a supported variation, option to slide the bolster underneath or even the block. We're going to be here for 4 more breaths. Breathe, activate, press, and lift. 2 more breaths. Good. Gently release the shoulders, roll down through the body. Perfect. Don't do anything yet. Just allow that posture to download into the body. So don't hug the knees in, don't windscreen wipe them yet. Just lay flat. This is a perfect neutral position to be in. Now, if you do not want to do any more bridges, what I recommend is to bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out. If you're joining me to do one more, let's go. So pressing into hands, pressing into feet, squeeze, lift, roll up through your body. Still stay strong. Shimmy shoulders, interlace fingers, lift up. Now, the arms actually don't have to be in this interlaced variation. They can be supporting the lower back here as well. So I've just moved my hands underneath my hips and I'm holding it here. Because you can do some nice little leg lifts, eventually maybe both legs float off. Again, just nice and comfortable. Gently release wherever you are, rolling down through your body. Good, take a moment in neutral. Before you bring the soles of the feet together and you let the knees drop out. Taking the hands to the top of the thighs, press the thighs away from your flare in the rib cage. Nice decompression through the spine. Wonderful. Gently release, take a moment here. Before you close the knees, now draw the knees in towards the chest. Have that little rock from side to side. Wonderful. Planting the feet back down on the mat, cross the right ankle over the left thigh, open out the knee. Options to stay here. Options to thread the needle, so taking the arms around and through the gap, so into the left shin or hamstring. Remember, the intention is that right knee to open out so you can get the stretch down through the glute. I actually feel this in my hip flexor as well today. Just telling me how tight this area is, which is probably why there's a lot of lower back pain today for me. So remember, the pelvis is a great place to help strengthen, stretch, release. It might be the cause to a lot of our aches and pains that we have in our daily lives. Lovely. Release that left leg down towards the mat. Draw that right knee in towards the chest. Options to stay here. Options to grab a hold of the big toe or the outside of the ankle or even the knee into a half happy baby or even a lunge. Wonderful. Gently bring that leg back down. Give yourself a moment. So left leg is going to cross over the right knee or thigh, opening out here. Remember, this is perfect. Or thread the needle, coming into reclined pigeon or figure 4. So there's a way that you can always straighten that leg and draw it in a little bit more. Some people even like to hook the big toe here, push the knee out. Again, there's so many options to do in this posture. Or just staying with the simple, clean, easy reclined pigeon. Lovely. Planting that right foot back down, bending that left knee into the body, coming into your half happy baby. Let's make our way into our full happy baby. Drawing the knees together, either the arms out to a capital E or out to shoulder level. Drop your knees over towards your left side for our recline twist. Reason why I'm taking our knees over to our left side is so we get the stretch through the right side of our body. So working with the ascending colon. Grounding down through the shoulders. If the knees need a little bit of a prop up, that's absolutely fine as well. Good. Lifting the knees up and over to the other side of the body. Now, the higher the knees are, the higher the twist's going to be. The lower the knees are, the lower the twist's going to be. So again, it's just depending on your angles of your body of where you are wanting to twist. So grounding down through both shoulders. Now, if the shoulders don't come to the floor, it's your option to either ground the shoulders and the knees lift, or the knees lower and the shoulder lifts. Again, 2 choices. Or if you're a lucky person and both of them are grounded, perfect. Try and find your twist. Beautiful. Coming back to neutral. Give yourself a second as we have a little rock from side to side. Good. Stretch your legs up towards the ceiling. Give those hamstrings a nice release, a little stretch. Good. You have the option to keep the arms next to you. I like to lift up and grab my toes, pulling down through the shoulders, and it's actually like a weird shoulder stand, Viparita Karani. You can use your straps here, but what I want you to do is the shoulders come down, the legs are stretched, even if the knees are slightly bent here. Again, it's more about lengthening through the legs. And of course, you can use your strap here by hooking onto the feet, taking them at a little bit of an angle and pulling down. Nice little ease. Of course, you can lift the head, you can take the legs over a little bit more. Again, it's just like a different variation of like a forward fold, if you can imagine, or you can just stay with the legs. Nice. Okay. So very gently release the straps, anything that you might have, and I want you to come into your variation of Shavasana. So maybe that's the knees bent, maybe it's the legs out. We're just going to stay here for a while, allowing ourselves to download the class, but we're not going to be finishing in Shavasana today, unless you want to. Of course, you can turn me off, but I want you to soften, to release, allow the body to relax for a moment. Coming back to that breath, noticing the inhales, noticing the exhales. But each time you exhale, you allow the breath maybe to be a little longer, more like a sigh, as the body has a moment to rest. Being proud of this body. It's been balancing, it's been stretching, it's been opening. Nice and easy, you've done it today. And as you lay here, allowing yourself to rest, maybe think of what your intention is for the week. Maybe you already have an intention or a resolve and you could think about that. What is it that you need this week? Got 4 more breaths here. 4 more times to relax a little deeper into the mat. Beautiful. And very gently blink open the eyes. Have a full body stretch and yawn and a windscreen wipe from side to side. Rolling to a side of your choice for a moment. Gently using your hand to bring you up towards your seat where we first started our class. Now remember, you can be cross-legged, you could be legs out, you could be in a butterfly. What matters is that you are comfortable. And I want you just to move in the head from side to side like we did. Maybe take a full head circle. Don't forget to go in the opposite direction. Move in the shoulders when you're ready. Move in the side body when you're ready. Let's change legs. Taking ourselves forward as we pat it out. Maybe reaching a little further forward. Having a rest here for a moment. Before you walk your arms back up and taking them behind you, maybe puffing the chest, opening the heart, maybe lifting the hips. Good, gently coming back. Big Sufi rolls, big movements. Good, don't forget to change the direction. Wonderful. Coming back to neutral. Rolling in the wrists. You could always interlace the fingers and circle here. Of course, you can push out, start to do your cat-cows one more time. We could release the arms and we'll just come to sit still. Now, if this is not a comfortable position to sit still, of course, change it. I invite you to sit a little taller, and of course, if you've got a wall close by, you can always sit against the wall. Close down the eyes. If you like to take a mudra or whatever works for you here, again, your choice. Close down your eyes. Connect back with your breath. Soften the jaw. And maybe notice the inhale, notice the exhale. Maybe count the breath. Again, whatever it is that you need to do to stay in the present moment, we do that. It could be listening to sounds. It could be anything. Or physically drawing hands to heart centers, bowing your heads, thanking your bodies. And I thank you so much for letting me be your guide this morning, this evening, whatever time it is for you. Namaste.